Tina Brown, give it up for your headliner. Your headliner, Tina Brown in person.
Listen, I am so thrilled that we were able to persuade Kathy Griffin to come out of her shell tonight and join us.
I'm a shy flower, too.
Yes, little retiring Kathy Griffin.
Yes.
It's wonderful to have you. I miss seeing you at the Trump rally for women this week.
Yes. Did you see the video of the three blondes doing their country song for Trump?
Oh, God. It was
they said, I don't care if you're black. They totally do. I don't care if you're white. We're white. Got it, ladies. And then it goes on from there. It's tragic.
So, look, Kathy, this movie is getting absolutely great buzz. I mean,
can you believe it?
It is so great.
I
know. It's the talk of the town. People are loving it. Look at this theater, standing out at the start. Is this going to really turn around your career now again, like just banish the whole cancelled thing in Hollywood?
Tina,
no,
I'm toxic. I can't get arrested. Come to LA.
What about have you now got like a major agent, major PR?
No, I have no agent.
TV show?
No.
Nothing. Isn't it incredible? It really is amazing.
Shocking.
It's shocking. And so...
Especially because I have 2 Emmys and a Grammy, Tina.
2 Emmys and a Grammy, I know. That's what is stunning to me. Before we go on, do you know this lady has actually made herself $35 million out of it?
I've made 75.
75?
Tina. Jesus.
Wow, I thought it was 35. That is so incredible.
I didn't keep all of it.
It's so fabulous what you've done and yet they're still saying they don't want to represent you.
I know, but they took the 10% the whole time, right?
They took their 10% the whole time. Well,
but I do like to talk about money, and I do think women should talk about money and be more honest about it. So I don't mean to be an asshole and be like, oh, I have a lot of money. But save your money, ladies, for a rainy day, because I had a monsoon. So it's okay to be prudent and think about money, and more women should be honest about how much they really make, because that's how the dudes fucking keep you down, because they don't want us talking amongst ourselves.
So, actually...
I bet you heard that from Graydon Carter a lot.
Indeed.
What was that like working for Graydon Carter?
I never worked for Graydon Carter.
I'm so intimidated by him.
How much did it cost you, actually?
To make it? About
No, not the movie. Oh. How much did the case cost you?
Well...
all the lawyers.
I have that, and then hundreds of thousands of dollars, and ironically, 2 days after my sister passed away, my next door neighbor, not Kim and Kanye, who I really do stand up for, they were absolutely lovely neighbors. I have a neighbor on the other side. This is public record. It's a civil suit, and I'm in the middle of a extremely bizarrely contentious civil suit from a neighbor who went on a rant. You can hear it online, where he is upset with me, and he yells, "Oh, ever since Trump put the heat on ya," and he goes on and calls me a bitch and a cunt and a bald dyke, because I had to shave my head and stuff. And that suit is actually going on to this day, and I do believe that would not have happened prior to 3 years ago.
Right.
Like, to be in that kind of a situation where you feel less safe in your own home than you do outside your home, because there's a neighbor who feels emboldened enough to do that, and then carry on with a civil suit. His name is Jeffrey T. Mesger, and he's the CEO of KB Homes.
Well, Kathy, obviously, you knew that Trump was going to punch back hard.
Oh yeah, well, you know him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's such a buffoon.
So you know that. So he's famous.
And I knew it would get under his skin.
So punching back hard, you realize that.
Yeah.
But presumably more upsetting to you was the sort of repudiation by the Hollywood community, the talent community. Is that true?
Yeah, it's hard because, like I said, you don't want the president to decide whether or not you can make a living, whatever your field is. And everybody knows that feeling. If there's one person who's like a shitty boss, then they can cost you your living, your health insurance, et cetera. And when I found out that it was historic, like I did my research, right? So everyone knows the stories of the great Lenny Bruce, and those were local PD incidents, and I called the great Jane Fonda, and she said, I had local PD arresting me. I didn't have the feds and stuff, and I talked to a great First Amendment attorney, Ted Boutros, and he said, I looked it up, and it's never happened, and so I thought, well, then that's the part of the story that needs to be told, because like me or not, and be offended by the photo or not, I do want people to understand the bounds of the First Amendment and the difference between yelling fire in a theater because people get trampled and killed, which is in violation of the First Amendment. What I did, or if you guys were to do something similar, is absolutely not. So it was interesting to really learn that, because it's my commodity, and anyone in the arts, it's their commodity, but also as we become more politically active, and I think a lot of people here probably showed up and maybe more politically engaged than they used to be, when you go to marches, as you know, there were more people arrested at the inaugural protest than any other protest in history. So I've been meeting a lot of people. I made this film. I did the concert part October 29th, and now it's been 2 years. And I keep meeting more people that are going through things. I mean, nothing is as shocking as the concentration camps, and that's what they are. They're concentration camps. So one of the reasons I feel so strongly about this, and I rescind the apology, literally except for a very few number of military families, is because I do think it's time we call things by what they really are. And I'm glad, WAPO started using the word lie, and I'm glad they write democracy dies in darkness. And it's important that we tell ordinary folks the difference between Facebook and news, and we hold Zuckerberg accountable and Dorsey accountable, and know these people and know these parties and know their power. And I had to learn all that stuff along the way. Are you bored? No, I know when I've lost an audience.
No, it's showtime. It's not that I'm bored.
Do you want me to sing?
It's simply that you cover 5 questions in one, paragraph. So
I said
it obviates the next 5.
Word in edgewise. She's like, should I ask about this? I go, Tina, you'll be lucky to.
Exactly. So I just skip the next 4.
Did you know that Trump thought the Rohingya was a place today? I shit you not. In a press conference, the Rohingya Muslims. And by the way, did you ever meet Aung San Suu Kyi?
No, but I don't want to meet her now. They should just take back her Nobel Prize. We should cancel her.
She was a hero of mine when she was under house arrest. I thought she was a hero, and now she's like a genocidal maniac. So anyway, the Rohingya Muslims are people that have had to migrate, and we all know that there's going to be a lot more migration because of many issues, political and climate change. Anyway, I call him Rump. So today at Rump at a press conference, they asked him about, of all things, the Rohingya. Like even the Pope wouldn't say it, remember? And he goes, "Where is that?" Okay, fuck him.
Where's that? That is
just
so
someone
great.
Metaphorically chop his head off. Metaphorically. I'm verbally making a joke as covered
great.
under the umbrella of the First Amendment because I'm a professional comedian and I can do it.
So what do you say? I mean, we've got all of these Democratic candidates now all trying to obviously win, and one of them is going to be on the stage with Trump. Yeah. And they're going to find themselves the absolute object of a massive sliming campaign. It's nothing. What you went through will be nothing to what whoever's a Democratic candidate, goes through. Do you have any advice about how to deal with Trump? Because you're looking at all these candidates. Who's going to deal with him best? I mean, you understood how to punch back in the most amazing way, and it's taken you God knows how much courage and sort of ingenuity and resources, right. To punch back.
Yeah.
Who's the best to do that, do you think, on this current lineup? And how should they go about it? How do they manage to beat him?
It's really easy. Like I've actually figured out after all this time, and I've known him for a long time, off and on as you have, and he is a typical bully in that when you step up to him, he backs down like the bitch he is. And the last time I saw him in person, he, this has happened to me my whole career, but last time I saw him in person, he actually hired me to roast him as part of an apprentice challenge. And as I was walking toward him, he was going, "Uh-oh, here she comes. I'm scared of her. Don't be too tough on the hair." And I'm like, "Your nest will be fine." And so you just have to step up to him. So I will say, as much as we love to obsess about the 2020 race, I'm really all about the down ballot. So I think that we have a great stable. We have an embarrassment of riches. Don't believe the right wing when they say we're a wreck because we have so many candidates. But also just know that in your daily life, you're probably going to be affected more by the down ballot races. So believe it or not, it takes like a half hour in the Google machine. Pay attention to who's running for county supervisor. Remember Kim Davis, that bitch that wouldn't marry the 2 guys? That was an elected position. So take 5 minutes and look that stuff up, and your Congress people and your state representatives and state houses. And if we could just flip the Senate, that would be everything.
Well, that would be everything. So agree.
So get to know these candidates, and it's actually kind of fun. But of the candidates, I will say I want to see a female president before I die. Okay? I don't care if I'm on life support with a tracheotomy and I'm in a diaper at your apartment, which must be fabulous. You have like a fabulous apartment? I bet you do, right? Like a pre-war, like one of those. Did you kill somebody? It's like, I heard there's a system. Anyway, but I'm going to be honest. It makes me a little disheartened that Biden and Sanders are just automatically polling the highest, and I feel that Kamala and Elizabeth are so accomplished and so formidable.
But they're rising. They are rising.
They're rising. And I am actually hopeful. I am one of the few people. I don't think he's going to win. First of all, he can't win fair, for real. He can't win fair. So the more journos, and I know there are some real ones here tonight, the more journos that do the work that some of our electeds aren't doing, and it's really the Republican Party we need to blame, so please stop beating down on my Nancy and the Dems that are letting you down. She has a plan. You think that she's gonna just let the squad say whatever the fuck they want? Trust me.
Okay,
they coordinate that shit.
So what are you thinking about the squad?
I think they gotta add. I want more squad members. I love that. So they gotta be like the Levonics and the Taylor Swifties and the Barbies. And so I think the squad plays such an essential role because everything they say, from AOC going to talk to young Latina girls and telling them you're America, you're everything that's American. The more we hear that is, I think, in part to take some of the centrist Dems more to the left. Now, I loved Bill Clinton as a president. I'm glad I wasn't married to him, but I'm just saying, people forget, he was a centrist Dem. He wasn't a lefty. My boyfriend Jimmy Carter was more of a lefty. By the way, if I could fuck like one guy, who's your fuck bucket list? Like, who haven't you fucked?
I must say, I did love the fact that he was about to go turkey shooting the other day. I thought that was just so fabulous.
What about him putting the solar panels on the top of the White House? Fucking Reagan took him down. Let's not revise history either about Reagan or W or HW.
He's totally fab.
Yeah. So I think we have to remember that the squad is not as extreme as they like to say. And by the way, you've traveled the world. If you call them socialists, you've never traveled to a real socialist country. So they are not socialists, all right? They may be progressive. And who doesn't want Medicare for all? Even the Trumpers want it, as long as you don't call it Obamacare. So I do have hope in the Green New Deal, and I think that the squad will grow, and I think a big part of their purpose is to take the more centrist Dems. Like, I now live in California, we flipped 11 seats. And I mean, some of them by the skin of our teeth, and so we have to understand that we don't want to lose those seats. So we also don't want to dogpile them for not being left enough. So I think there is a plan. And the other thing is Nancy you guys, you know what she knows how to do? Whip votes. She doesn't have the votes even in our House. She doesn't. She just doesn't. It's simple math. So don't get mad at her. She's got a plan. But what are you going to do in a country that thinks Facebook is news? What are you going to do when Jeff Fucker lets Spencer go on news as a pundit? Like, what the fuck? That guy's a Nazi.
So,
am I cursing?
No.
Is there like a no cursing?
But I want to just get back to.
All right.
I want to get back. I want to get back.
I'll bet you have great dinner parties.
I want to get back
illiterati
to all of the kind of agonies of being a cancelled person, which you did.
I'm a cancelled, #cancelled.
Yeah, #cancelled.
Don't have a day of paid work.
But there's a lot of other cancelled careers right now, a lot. I mean, the cancel culture is out there every day, eliminating. And it's not all from the Trump side, right? It's often liberal parties that get, completely exercised.
Not as much, don't easy.
Well, I don't know. All of those campus speakers.
Example, back it up.
Well, all the campus
secondary and tertiary, you're general.
All of the campus speakers who get, outlawed, you've got all this stuff happening within diversity, whatever. All of this cancel culture stuff is happening all the time.
It's mostly on the right, though. Cut the shit.
So the question to you is, like, do you feel that we've now, the statute of limitations has run out of just saying somebody's career is just cancelled because of something that they did that offends another side? Isn't it time to at least have comebacks, as you're proving? And in fact, Aziz Ansari has his new show. Roseanne Barr is going on tour with Andrew Dice Clay.
Great.
Yes, I know. Are you leading the way? What are your thoughts?
I need to talk to Tina Brown. I don't know who you are, but no.
Seriously, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are Aziz. I don't have any love for Aziz. I mean, I know him. He was a nice guy, but I've been in comedy so long. I've seen all their dicks. I have seen all their dicks.
All their dicks.
I know all who's going to be Me Too'd next. I can tell you the names, and they do it with impunity. And you know what? The problem is the guys still circle the wagons, and I'm nervous about Weinstein. And the reason I confronted Leslie Moonves is I've known him since he was fucking getting coffee at Warner Brothers, and he doesn't have a skill set either. So I think we have to cancel back, and I think we need to make sure Leslie stays on a fucking boat. Did you know that's what they do? When they get caught, they go on a boat.
Of course they do. Where else are they going to go?
They don't have anything else to do. They go on a boat. And what the fuck is Julie doing sticking with them? She doesn't even need the money. So she's like not talking to me. She's mad at me. But anyway, I'm canceled from the talk, and she's not even on the talk anymore. I go, she's gone. And they go, well, they're still fans. I go, what the fuck? All right, so we have to cancel them back. And here's the deal. I know people don't like to say this, but we really do. I make a joke about getting down in the mud. Until we can kind of right the ship, we got to get down in the mud. I'm sorry. It may take 2 years, and maybe we can get back to normal, but we have to go and hit them fucking hard in their balls. And I would love to see a moment where Trump with his fucking gunt, it's a cross between a gut and a cunt, I would love to see Trump try to pull that Hillary move on Kamala or Elizabeth, right, during the debate. I mean, it would be right in the balls. And he would cry like a baby and go to the emergency room and go, I don't have enough health care. So it's really actually easy to take him on. It's just that the dominoes haven't started. But I think that once a few folks take them on, and I personally, I know this sounds really like ridiculous, I feel I prevailed over the President of the United States. I really do. In my little tiny way.
You did.
And it wasn't with, it wasn't by being classy, but I think you have to be, I have no class.
Yeah, we thought it was that, actually.
You thought it was too classy.
Yeah, we thought it was too classy.
There's a big rumor about that. But I think it's okay for our team to fight fucking dirty for a while. Just for a while, okay? We're not gonna forget who we are. It's who we are. We're wired. We Dems, we analyze, we wanna think things out. They don't play that way, fuckers. They don't play that way. He's running unopposed, all right? So once we pick ours, and it's not gonna be Bernie or Joe, sorry. They've had their turn, okay? It's time for a woman. But once we pick, oh, the Buttigieg guys are pissed at me now. I'm sorry, he's gonna be a wonderful senator or governor. He's the mayor of South Bend. Have you been there? Diverse. All right, so, but he'll be a wonderful senator or governor, and that's what we need. So, I have a walkout. I have a Buttigieg walkout. Shit. I'm used to it in the comedy world. I get a lot of
Buttigieg fans.
It's too late to get your money back, sir. First 10 minutes only. But
well, speaking of Buttigieg,
yeah.
What is the most painful aspect of your friendship?
Well, Buttigieg,
going with
Buttigieg
Anderson
actually
Cooper.
wouldn't take a photo with me.
Well, how about Anderson?
I'm just saying.
How about Anderson Cooper?
Hold
who
on.
Obviously,
Pete Buttigieg. I was at South by Southwest with this film, and the husband came up to me, and he was just like, as I lovingly say, one of my gays, and we got along great. And then I meet the mayor, and I said hello and congratulations on everything, and you're obviously so bright, you learn so quickly, and all this other stuff. And then the husband said, oh, take a picture. And he got nervous, and I said, it's okay. I understand. So there are a lot of electeds that to this day, some of them, I get it. I go, you know what, it's okay. I kind of don't want to put my shit on you. But with him, I thought, well, honey, if you're running for president, you can't be afraid of me. You know, and then I saw AOC, and she fucking put her arms around me. And she's like, I'm not afraid of you, you're a riot. And so that's what we need to do. Be fearless and have a sense of humor and be trepidatious and get down in the mud. It's not our way, but it's got to be just for a little while. We're not going to lose our character. It's okay. We're just going to have to go through this phase.
So anything to salvage your friendship with Anderson?
Why?
Well, is there anything he could do to salvage you?
I got a black guy. You want me to go back to him?
No, I don't want you to go back to him.
So that's what I'm saying.
But if he called you and said, Kathy...
He didn't call.
Yeah.
He didn't call.
Has he seen the movie?
I don't care. I don't know.
So Gloria Vanderbilt.
But I will always be grateful that I got to meet the amazing Gloria Vanderbilt. And let me tell you, so many of her, you had to run with that crowd, right? I'm surprised I didn't see it, those mafias.
I knew her, but I didn't know her well.
Don't act like that.
I did not.
Phil and Marlo,
I didn't know her.
Crowd, East Side.
No.
Anyway, so I do to this day, I hear her sayings because we would spend a lot of time alone, you know, and she was just so smart and candid and open about her own life experiences, starting with the Farmington trauma, et cetera, but all the phases and her lovers and what she had learned. And, you know, and I hear her so much today saying, there's always more and you're never done. And I hear her saying, you know, she just has so much of life experience. Most of my friends are over 90. Like, you're kind of boring. I like people 90 and above. They've done a lot of living.
Well, they're all running for president right now.
and so I will always be grateful to Anderson for that, truly.
Yeah. obviously the Trump experience, what you went through, you've come out of it the other side. I mean, how has it really sort of changed you as a writer, as an artist, as a thinker about comic material? Seriously, because it was a very searing experience.
A real thing, very, very real.
Very real.
And that's what compelled me to make, especially the documentary part, which I had to really fight for. Because originally, get this shit, it was a 3-hour comedy concert movie that nobody fucking wanted. I mean, nobody. And so I said, well, what if I made like a documentary and tried to get in film festivals? So fooled you. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. I would say the thing that I'm really grateful for is I've always been happy to make fun of, as you see, the Kardashians or the housewives or whatever. But this experience was able to put more meat on the bone of my comedy, and that's something I'm really enjoying. And I've gotten to meet so many journos and so many smart people, and that's like my real life. Like
You feel it really deepened your game in a sense, right?
I think it deepened my game because out of necessity, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah, no.
And also I was very acutely aware to this day that if people were coming to see the Kathy Griffin Laugh Your Head Off tour, get it? I'm not above a pun. If, I knew what they wanted to hear. And so, it doesn't give me joy that Anderson is not my friend anymore, but I know that if people have paid money and gotten a babysitter and paid for dinner, they came to see the real fucking deal. So that's why I don't hold back and never hold back. And that's why I'm grateful that through this experience, I'm actually able to fold sort of like a different level of topics into my act. And I've sort of become a political comedian, but I've been a political junkie my whole life, ever since I was a little kid in Chicago, where my uncle was a bad bagman, bad cop, and we need to talk about that as a country. We need to talk about how the police departments are not necessarily there to protect and serve. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's the reality. Yeah. So my uncle was a dirty Chicago cop. My cousin was a pedophile priest. And I grew up in a family where you didn't talk about it. So I was the obnoxious kid who just wouldn't shut up. And I just think in these times, I remember watching Watergate and I was just riveted. And I never in my lifetime thought we'd experience something as a country worse than Watergate. So we're past the moment where the guys walk up the driveway and have a talk with Richard and say, you're gonna get impeached, and then he leaves and Pat is there hammered, getting in the hand, God love her. She earned it. And so I think it's important, and the reason I defend the photo, as offensive as that may be, is it's time we call shit out for what it is. Because it's the obfuscation and it's the silence that's gonna kill us. So, before you get offended at my photo, think about the man in the Rio Grande with his arm over his dead toddler, and don't fucking come at me about that picture unless you're gonna address that and call it for what it really is. Now, that's not my act. That's just me talking. But what I'm saying is I have learned so much through this experience that I do enjoy, as a comic, being able to really mix it up. And now I lost a lot of audience members for sure, but I've also gained, like I said, I've gained a lot of resistors, and I actually think I've gained a lot of people that read. Not a big party for Andy Cohen. What is it, honey?
Why do you think that, to me, when I watch you on stage,
what phone numbers do you have? Like Bob Mueller's phone number. I feel like she has Bob Mueller's phone number, and I need to talk to him today.
What I ask myself when I watch this movie is just like, why do you want to do this? I mean, it seems to me like such a kind of agonizing activity. And then when you went through everything that you went through, what is it that compels you to want to get out there and expose all of this and do it night after night and actually put yourself out there in front of an audience like this? It really interests me about what drives you to do this.
How can you not? It's the greatest job in the world. I love it. I love every minute, the good, the bad, the ugly. I love talking about it. I'm such a dork. I love talking to other comics. I love talking shop. I love learning from people. I love meeting people from other fields. I love a job that lets me travel. I'm from Forest Park, Illinois. I'm from St. Bernardine's, a school that's not even open anymore, across from the Ferrara Pan Candy Factory, for Christ's sake. I didn't think I'd travel outside of Illinois. We would go to Saugatuck, Michigan, and that was another country. So it's a great job. I'm so happy. And like I said, to be 58 and still in the game, it'd be nice to have a gig, but I love doing it. I'm so fucking flattered you guys are here. That's immense. Worth it all. Worth it all.
So why do you think that comedy, why is it such a male, such a male,
Oh,
misogynistic.
yeah, it hasn't
what
changed.
is it? But it
I'm not gonna
hasn't
lie.
really changed. Well,
It
is it
hasn't gotten
changing?
better.
Is it changing?
No, don't believe. Look, I do morning radio shows all the time, right? Because I'm banned from everything. I'm literally banned from everything but Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers. Still, yes.
Wow.
But Ellen is a lifetime.
Right.
That bitch has a lifetime ban on me. Oh my God, we got in the worst fight after Joan Rivers died because she still thinks Joan Rivers was mean. So I finally called her after Joan's funeral. I go, well, she's dead now, bitch, you happy? And she's like, she was never funny, she was mean. And we had like a fucking tussle, and it was verbal, but it was like Dynasty when they go in the pool and we're like pulling each other's legs out. And I go, Ellen, get the fuck over it. You and I are lucky to be making a living. You're 60, you're fucking counting your money. Portia's getting horse therapy for whatever you put her through. And I said, Jesus Christ, lighten up. And she goes, oh, I'm sick of this tired. Joan Rivers is mean and Don Rickles is mean too. And I had conversations with both of them. And they actually expressed being wounded by never getting acknowledged by Ellen. And everyone loves Ellen, and you guys should love Ellen. I have a personal problem with her. But what I'm saying is, there's something for everybody. And I think it's great that Ellen doesn't curse. And I think it's great that Seinfeld doesn't curse. And I think it's great that people have props. And I think there's a landscape for everybody. I personally also think there's a great history, as you know, of comedians in real times of, as I say, dire situations where certain comedians I think it's appropriate to make a statement. And I'm bringing up Joan Rivers, and here's why. Have I got a story for you? So one time, I know, the great, the one and only Joan Rivers, the one and only, who I feel was really not really given the respect she deserved in her lifetime. You know, Rodney said, I don't get no respect. Joan got no respect. I mean, that she really deserved, you know? And I'm sure you knew her, and you knew she was extremely
Not really, but
well-known.
I am interested about how she had to toil and, you know, and it was so a long.
You talk about Me Too and Time's Up.
And she only got her sort of iconic status after dying. I mean, she has.
Which is fucked up. So I talk about her, and I talk about the conversations we had. And one time she called me, and she goes, I'm going to Buckingham Palace in Windsor. Do you want to go? I said, fuck yes. So she was friends with Chuck and Camilla. Like, did you ever fuck him? I feel like that's your type. I do. Like, I can see it.
Definitely not his type.
Did you say who didn't?
No.
I thought you went, who
I
did?
didn't say
Like, that's a soundbite. Somebody write that down.
Although I could have said that.
I loved if you would have said that, but naughty. Who didn't? But anyway, so Joan Rivers was secretly like super duper close with Chuck and Camilla. Like she called them Chuck and Camilla. And so she took me to 2 events, and I got to meet them. And I know all the young kids and the gays are all about, you know, Harry and everything. I still love Chuck. I mean, when a guy says he wants to be your tampon, that's a goddamn compliment. That's love.
He was a mensch for saying that.
Oh, fantastic. And so, and she was so nice, and she said, Charles, this is my friend Kathy Griffin. She's a very outrageous American comedian. And he pulled me in and he said, if it weren't for comedians and journalists, who would keep us honest? And I always thought about that, and I really believe that, and I think you believe it too.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah.
I was fascinated that you said that you had talked to Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Jane Fonda has actually said that she'll go to her grave regretting the photo of her on the anti-aircraft gun in North Korea. I mean, that got her Hanoi Jane. She said that she really regrets it.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, I know, it's sad. What advice did she give you? What was the bond that you had there?
One of the reasons I called her right away is because I'm very aware that this photo will be with me more than anything.
It will be the first line of your obituary,
yes,
without
first
doubt.
line. By the way, I'm going to be such a legend when I'm dead. You guys, oh my God, I just can't wait. I can't wait for the plague. I'm super excited about the end of days. Anyway. I did call Fonda. I had called her previously for other times when I had sort of strife in my life because she's been around the block, as you know. And I am aware that this will be with me. And so one of the things I've been thinking about is, you know, when I have the opportunity to tour again, I will be able to tour the world. So wish me luck. I will be able to, I think, play countries again that I played before because I wouldn't have been able to play them without this horrible picture. And,
I would stay out of Saudi Arabia. I just give you that word of
you know,
advice.
MBS is getting a bad rap. He's a great guy as long as you spend time with him and Bibi. What the fuck is going on with that shit? I mean, Jesus Christ. So I know. It's hard for me to not get into serious conversation with you because you're such an intellectual, but I'll try to stay on topic. All right, so I'm getting in the apartment, though. I've never seen it, and I have a feeling there's like a Fabergé. Do you have a Fabergé egg? I feel like you do. I feel like
we're out of time, Griffin. Get on with it.
Do you have a Fabergé?
Get on with it.
How much are they? Like, are they like $1,000 or like $100,000?
Please get on with your last
Do you think
question.
I could afford one?
Last question.
All right. You know what, though? I don't think that, I feel like they would diminish in value when the apocalypse comes. That's how I think. I give the planet 3 months. Drink up, eat whatever the fuck you want. I give the planet 3 months. The thing that I am astutely aware of is, like Jane saying, the Hanoi Jane label will be with her. I have been with Jane Fonda, where there have been people of her age that have had the nerve to step up to her.
Amazing.
And it's been my honor to step right back up to them. No matter how powerful or what studio they think they own, those are moments also that make it worth it. Mm-hmm. When you see someone like that, and I do believe it's a generational thing, because Jane should be remembered for everything from the first off-Broadway play to Clute to her statements and her activism. And if you saw that HBO series, Life in 5 Acts, man, that was illuminating and
so
a knockout.
fantastic.
But this photo will be with me the rest of my life, and I will give it a nod probably in every show, because I know people will want to hear a little bit, but I won't tell like the story. So I'll figure out a way to, like, usually I do like a 2-hour show, maybe 2.5 hours. I'll figure out a way to do like 10 minutes about the picture probably. Mm-hmm. You know, like when I saw The Great Carlin the last time, he still figured out a way to do the 7 deadly words, because he knew that audience.
That
like,
they had to have that
most
touch point.
famous bit. Yeah.
Okay, so last question. What do you do now on New Year's Eve? I so miss you on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Come on.
So juicy.
Yeah,
we should
go.
do this together. Okay, so by the way, last year I had what I thought was the best idea that nobody bought. I wanted to do Kathy Griffin and Stormy Daniels live on New Year's. Thank you.
Yes.
And all those boys are so afraid, and we're so dangerous. I'm like, we get every demo, every fucking perv, every gay guy, every woman. Are you kidding? It's a win-win, motherfuckers. But they don't get me. And so what I do is my boyfriend and I hate watch Anderson and Andy. And it's so much fun. And we just eat, and we're like, oh God, that bit sucked. And then and then I get texts from like my 4 friends that I have left. And it's just a delicious, venomous heaven.
A venomous heaven. All right, so I just want to say that when we really look at Kathy's work, I mean, she's such an impressive artist as a whole.
You're not in the room.
No, it's true. Now, listen to this.
I used to do this to Judy Garland.
I want to read you what New York Magazine said about you.
Okay.
It's all that when we look at your work as a whole, it's all about rejecting the status quo, rejecting our accepted notions of what high or polite society is, raising our voices in dissent when something seems not right, no matter how unpopular it makes you. I want to just say, let us now salute Kathy Griffin tonight for raising her voice in dissent, for being so courageous, and being a beacon for free speech. Yes. It's true. It's true.
Give me a hug. Come on.
Come on.
Tina Brown, legend.
Come on.
Think about what she went through. Think about what she fought in publishing. Thank you. I can only imagine.
I mean it.
You're the shit.
No, really. I'm
You're
so
the shit.
I'm
Thank you
proud
for
to
what
do
you
this.
contributed to
I'm
the world.
I'm proud to do
journalism.
this tonight. Really.
Thanks, everybody.
And I love Kara Swisher. She's one of my friends.
Yeah, right? I know. All right. Here, you want to know? Here.
Yeah. Thank you.